Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. It's time for us to go back to being a really bad defense attorney who somehow manages to get it all together right at the end. And we're going into trial, it looks like. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya? Pearly? You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed him out. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a tray-in? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? Edgeworth? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend.
Objection!
Oh, no. Oh, I thought that Edgeworth was going to be here. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday.
Objection!
Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end.
Objection! Objection!
It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? I should mention, keeping an eye on that audio meter again. I don't want to ever have to do that kind of editing ever again. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What's with this kid? Ahem! Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem to get mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Hold on. So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma. I am Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father? Manfred von Karma?
Oh, if it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow!
I'm talking. She seems like a nice person. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Yow. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please.
Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch.
Very well. What is the defense's position?
Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? A plea usually reserved when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation?
Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct.
Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there?
They were channeling spirits, sir.
Channeling a spirit?
That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct?
Oh, correct? Yes. I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. I'm not even gonna let you have the chance to fight back, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Here's some floor plans, though. So, how was the victim killed?
I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot.
This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
Autopsy report added to the court record. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness.
So I question why the stabbing first, you know? The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead.
Hold it!
The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victims. The victim? Now, why would he have... Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you're missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? There were fingerprints!
Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faze, were also on the grip, sir. Open and shut, as they say.
So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon!
I walked right into her hands there. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Point blank, huh? So about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point blank? Ha ha, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Maybe we should learn this stuff ahead of time. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? Whoop, that's not what I meant. Something sharp, a fruit knife.
I see. And whose knife was it?
It looks like it belongs to the Faze, sir. And of course, Maya Faze's fingerprints are all over it.
All over it, huh?
This does not look good. Haha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. How severe was the wound? Very. If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Dang it, that's not what I'm trying to do. Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then, which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Phoenix Wright. Ugh, what a pain.
That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered.
I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. The pistol
was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Why 2, I wonder? And the murder knife. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true. Mr. Wright.
Yes?
Even in the face of all of this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix, right? You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way. Yeah, sure, why not? We stand to lose today. If May is convicted, then it's all over. I really should play it safe and try to soften the blow. Your Honor, the defense would like to change its plea to justified self-defense. Huh.
Understood. Let the record show that the defense has entered a new plea.
There's nothing else I could do. Mia? You already hold the key. If you don't believe, you cannot win. If we plead justified self-defense, we would be basically confessing to the murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'll be labeled a murderer. Can I really let that happen? Your Honor.
Yes?
The defense retracts its previous statement, and instead will prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that the defendant is not guilty. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix, right? Detective.
Yes.
Sir, present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir.
Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Eek! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal. There's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. I don't understand how that's decisive evidence.
So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a backspray of blood on this.
This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence.
What does blood splatters, prove? I already knew that she had blood splattered on her clothes.
All right, Mr. Wright.
Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Huh. What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Alright, sorry pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kinda scary today, you know, pal?
Come now, Mr. Wright. There's no need for that kind of attitude in my court. All right. Just please stop glaring at me like that.
This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. Maya's costume? Yeah. She was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? As you can see, it's covered in blood. This blood in the costume. Lab results show it's the victim's blood.
So there's blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. So, were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on.
Yes. Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Yeah, let's press further. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. Is it the hole in the sleeve, maybe? There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There's one little thing. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
What?
What are you talking about, pal?
Where is this problem you are talking about?
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. You get to pick. It's the blood.
Take that!
The problem is obviously the blood splatter here.
But we've determined that the blood splatter is from the victim. Where is the problem in that?
Yeah, where, pal? Yeah, I wonder about that too.
You're an idiot. That last antic of yours just pushed me over the top, Mr. Wright. I hereby declare this cross-examination over.
Please wait, Your Honor. I better not mess up again.
Take that!
I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeve? There is a tiny hole here.
A hole? But that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole?
It smells... He's like shoving his face in it. Right next to the bloodstain.
It smells faintly of gunpowder.
Gunpowder? No one ever told me.
A hole that smells of gunpowder.
It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole.
Order! Order, order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke. Nothing more.
Objection!
How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
Well, I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Hold it!
He wasn't fighting back. How do you know he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal.
So did the murderer have a fight with the victim, or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically.
We're in real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. We'll all find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her. Alright, so let's see what we have so far. Well, there's the 2 shots fired that would sort of have something to do with the bullet hole thing. How one probably went through his head, and then the other one maybe went through the sleeve and through this folding screen. Oh, that didn't help much. Okay. I don't think any of those are going to help right now. So we're going to attack the, without a doubt, was not fighting back. We can present that, maybe? Detective Dip Gunshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. All right. The wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What's with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma! It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Now that you... Why, that's right! Which means the defense is yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Almost feel bad for Gumshoe here. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. What I said before was definitely a lie. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface, it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.